What is the Danelaw? What exactly is the Danelaw? This term refers to a significant area in England where Danish Viking laws and customs were in place from the late 9th century until the Norman Conquest in 1066. The Danelaw emerged after the Viking invasions and settlements during the late 800s, especially following the arrival of the Great Heathen Army in 865. This region was not just a physical space, it was also a legal and cultural zone. In the Danelaw, Danish law was recognized alongside or even instead of Anglo-Saxon law. The origins of this unique area stem from the conflicts and treaties between the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms and the Danish Vikings. A key moment came after the Danish warlord Guthrum was defeated by Alfred the Great of Wessex at the Battle of Edington in 878. Following this battle, they agreed to the Treaty of Wedmore. This treaty established boundaries and allowed the Danes to govern themselves under their own laws, in return for loyalty to the English crown. Geographically, the Danelaw included regions such as Yorkshire, East Anglia, and the Midlands. Important towns in this area included York, which was known as Jorvik during Viking rule, Leicester, Nottingham, Derby, Stamford, and Lincoln. The presence of Danish settlers brought their language and customs, which influenced the local culture. You can still see the impact of Old Norse today in many English place names. Names ending in by, which means village, thorp, meaning hamlet, and how, meaning hill or mound, all trace back to this period. Legally, the Danelaw introduced concepts that helped maintain peace between the Anglo-Saxon and Viking populations. One such concept was wergild, which set the value of reparations for injuries or deaths. The Danish administrative division, called a wapentake, functioned similarly to the Anglo-Saxon hundred, serving as a local unit for governance and justice. The Danelaw also had a class of free peasants known as sokemen. These individuals enjoyed more autonomy than typical serfs, reflecting Scandinavian social structures. The coexistence of Danish and Anglo-Saxon laws led to a blending of cultures and languages. Old Norse words entered the English language, including everyday terms like law, sky, window, and the pronouns they, them, and their. This cultural exchange highlights how Scandinavian settlement shaped English history. Although the Danelaw was initially a Viking-controlled territory, it gradually became integrated into the emerging Kingdom of England. Over time, Danish rulers converted to Christianity, and the distinct legal identity of the Danelaw diminished as English kings extended their authority. By the early 12th century, references to the Danelaw appeared in English legislation as one of several regional legal traditions. From a Scandinavian perspective, the Danelaw represents a significant chapter in Viking expansion and settlement outside Scandinavia. It was not just a series of raids but a process of colonization and cultural integration that shaped both English and Scandinavian histories. The Danelaw illustrates how Scandinavian warriors transitioned from raiders to settlers, establishing communities governed by their own laws while interacting with Anglo-Saxon neighbors. This period reflects the complex dynamics of power, identity, and law in medieval England. The Danelaw was a legally and culturally distinct area of England under Danish influence from the late 9th to the 11th century. It was defined by treaties between Viking leaders and Anglo-Saxon kings, marked by Scandinavian settlement, and characterized by a unique blend of laws and customs that left a lasting imprint on English history and language.